Thanks so much, Greg. As you just said, the timing here with this system is really going to be tricky because, as we're going to see right now, the impact is going to be during rush hour. So if you don't need to be on the road, this is probably the day to just stay off the road. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the timing. So this is now the future radar, so showing you the forecast of the snow as it's coming in. And so here, this is tonight during rush hour, 6 p.m. And so as you can see here, you see this pink line that's stretching across the screen? That is our rain snow line that is just draped across I-29. So Omaha, Nebraska, for example, you are on the rainiest side of this system. So I-80 is going to be rainy, the southern part of I-29, but north of that, we're looking like we're in the snow. And so now this snow is going to roll in overnight so that by early tomorrow morning, we are possibly into a heavier snow region here in Omaha and even in Sioux City. So again, this is going to be very impactful as you're traveling. So if you don't need to be on the road, Alex, maybe stay very warm for this time of the year. And you're thinking, yeah, Oklahoma, Texas, you think warmth, but not this warm in February. You know, this is more typical for something like April or May. And so here right now, these are the current temperatures across the south. We're looking at 68 in Del Rio, 74 down there in South Texas, Corpus Christi, 70s and 60s for the most part up near Oklahoma. And so now, because we've had this very dry weather and this warmth in place, we now have fire danger in the forecast. So that's what the red flag warning here is telling you, so that for these areas across Oklahoma and Texas, it is strongly discouraged that you do not burn outside, because we have all these ingredients in place to have a severe fire risk, which could spread very rapidly if it were to take place. So today we have an extreme warning here for fire warnings across much of northern Texas, and then mostly a critical and elevated area as you go down into South Texas. So if you are in these areas and you do not need to be burning anything outside, please just do not do that. And so through the end of this week, the relative humidity, so now this is a measure of how moist the atmosphere is. The higher, the better, the more moist that we're at. And we're looking at 10%, 13% relative humidity, which is very dry, even for this time of the year. And so we also still have in place a moderate to severe drought across parts of Oklahoma, and even as you move north into the Central Plains, as these areas just have not received a lot of rainfall so far this year. But the kicker here, and the real important part, is that with these dry conditions, we now, with this storm system moving through, have the potential for some very high wind gusts, up to 45 miles per hour in some places. So again, if something were to spark or burn, this could potentially cause a forest fire and be pretty potentially bad for us, Alex. Greg, yeah, unfortunately, blizzard conditions means that this travel could actually be really hard and really bad for many of us here in the upper Midwest. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at Minneapolis right now, just to see the timing of this system as it comes in. So here's tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., so right in the middle of your commute. And you can see that on Interstate 35 and on Interstate 94, if you are coming into the city, you could potentially see a dusting or maybe even as much as 5 to 8 inches of snow in this area. So again, that could be very hard if you're moving, but this system is going to move out by the end of Friday. So your impact is mostly going to be on Friday morning for this area. And so if we go ahead and take a closer look, you can see that winds are gusting here almost up to the 30s, okay? Just winds out of the north. And again, Friday at 7 a.m., right in the middle of rush hour, Alex, this is going to be the most impactful part for you.
No doubt.
Well, our mild winter this year means that ice cover on lakes and ponds is low for this time of the year. Meteorologist Jen Carfagno shows us how to tell if the ice where you are